Hello friends and my lovely viewers. Welcome back to the channel of Neon Safe. Today we will check out the Guardian champion whose name is Void. We will talk about his clan traits, skills and traits, as well as his unique Guardian skill. Let's get started.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. I'm tired of shit.
Just like the hybrids of Bloodline, our Guardian champions also have two clan traits. Void's first clan trait is called Light of Grace. At level 22, he will debuff the attacker's critical damage by 20% for 4 seconds when our Void champion takes damage. This stacks up to 3 times. It kinda gives me a tank vibe to be honest, since he has to get hit by an enemy for this clan trait to take action. But, it looks like a really good clan trait to weaken the enemy. It may be very efficient and great if the opponent with the highest critical damage decides to target our Void Guardian. Anyways, this clan trait isn't difficult to understand. An opponent hits him, he punishes the opponent by launching a critical damage debuff on the attacker, and it can stack up to 3 times. I wonder what his second clan trait is like. Aquatic Barrier will at level 22 buff all allied champion strength resistance in the front row by 24%. This effect works only within the first 10 seconds of the battle, and it cannot be stacked. So basically the front row champions will be harder to kill for the first 10 seconds of the battle, since they are more resistant to strength-based attacks. That seemed to me like a great way to keep the team alive. I honestly believe both of his clan traits to be very useful. But he is a Guardian champion after all. Let us move on to his active skill next. Void will knock up enemies that are within range and deal true damage equal to 12% of his constitution, up to a maximum of 2000% of his strength. After the enemies land, the enemy's strength is reduced by 35% for 4 seconds. It seems like both his amount of strength and constitution will determine how much damage he deals. So, we may consider keeping those attributes high to ensure he uses his full potential. Anyways, quickly explained, this skill deals damage and debuffs the enemies. I especially think the debuff effect may create a big difference on the battlefield. This Void Guardian is clearly focusing on giving the enemies a hard time dealing damage. That being said, time for his passive skill. When an allied back row champion takes damage, 50% of that damage will be shared with our Void champion. And when the total damage taken by all the allies reaches 30% of our Void's max constitution, he will start the support effect which continuously recover constitution equal to 12% of Void's constitution to allied champions. The recovery effect our Void Guardian receives is increased by 140% each time the support effect is successfully triggered in battle, and the damage of Void's next ultimate or Guardian skill is increased by 35%. This effect cannot stack, but our champion would be immune to control effects for the first 5 seconds of battle. The passive skill is very impressive. I can totally see why Guardian champions are such game changers in Bloodline. He protects his teammates by being their human shield, and when the enemy's damage dealt tips over a set limit, he will start to heal his allies. The power of his support effect is dependent on how much constitution our Void champion has. He buffs his next ultimate or Guardian skill attack, and his own recovery effect would improve for each time he uses this support effect. He is proving to be a promising tank and support type of Guardian. Now, let us check out his ultimate skill. He summons a shield to the most crowded area of allies. This protective shield stuns enemies within range for 2 seconds and deals 850% strength damage upon landing. It instantly provides a permanent shield equal to 20% of its constitution to the 2 allied champions with the lowest constitution percentage that are within range. For the next 4 seconds, it also provides a permanent shield equal to 15% of its constitution per second to allies within range and continuously silences nearby enemies. Our Void champion is immune to control during this skill activation. Void basically deals a great amount of damage and protects his allies by using a shield. This protection relies on our Void's constitution once again. He also stuns and silences the enemies for a little while, which are pretty nice bonus effects. I enjoy the fact that his skill gives 2 types of shield, one for the 2 allies with lowest constitution, and one for the nearby allies. This way, he is able to protect quite a lot of allies. It is also an indicator that he might work better in battle if he is placed on the very middle of the battlefield. He needs his allies to be nearby to properly support them. Let us take a look at his special Guardian skill. He will use bracers to strike in a fan-shaped area twice, each strike dealing 600% strength damage. Then he knocks up the enemies within range and deals true damage equal to 18% of his constitution, up to 2000% of his strength. During the skill release, Void recovers constitution equal to 40% of the damage dealt by the skill. If there is only one enemy within the skill range, the damage dealt by the skill will be increased by 35%. Our Void champion gains 200 resolve for every 6% constitution damage taken. This Guardian champion skill can never be interrupted, and resolve cannot be gained within 11 seconds after release. This skill is based on dealing damage and self-recovery. His strength and constitution plays a big part in how much damage he will deal. And the more damage he deals to the enemies, the more of his own constitution would be recovered. He also gains resolve depending on how much the enemies damage our Void champion. Since this skill cannot be interrupted no matter what, that makes it even more deadly as it has literally no weak spots. Now overall, I believe he can seriously make a massive difference in battle as the enemy would be heavily debuffed, and the allies would be protected by his shield and support effect. He also deals quite a big amount of damage even though his main role is supporting and tanking on the battlefield. Our Void champion here may also be functional in boss fights as his Guardian skill receives a pretty good damage buff when there is only one enemy left. I'd say if we want a proper supportive tank in our team, this might be our best pick. Anyways, we should not forget to discuss his potential trait combination. I believe this is the type of champion who needs lots of constitution and strength. We only have 3 slots to fill in, so first off we may want to consider Energetic for him. Energetic will at level 22 increase the constitution by 45%. The second trait for him may be Brutal to increase his strength percentage. A level 22 Brutal trait increases the strength of our champion by 45%. Now, we can either go for a full-on DPS route, or we can focus his last trait on defense. Athletic would at level 22 increase the strength by 15,000 points, while Healthy would increase his constitution by 400,000 points at level 22. But there are also other traits that may work well. We can instead choose a trait to increase his energy gain rate if that is preferable. The trait called Focused will at level 18 increase his energy gain rate by 22% for the first 10 seconds after battle starts. It is up to each one of us to decide which traits we would like to put on him. This all being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to leave a like, comment below, or subscribe to the channel if you want to show your support. I hope you have an amazing day, and we will see you in the next one. Take care, stay foxy, adios, bye.